Hey everybody, welcome back. This is Free Range Human Thoughts. I'm James. This is Tabitha. We're stuck in a purgatory of our own making. We have been here forever. Anyway, how you doing this morning?
Bought strawberry mocha coffees. It is the worst thing I have tasted, but I bought 4 of them. So I'm like, I'm not just gonna throw them away. You know what I mean? Like, I still need caffeine. So if I'm chewing gum and drinking the coffee, it makes the coffee taste better.
I mean, I appreciate the commitment.
It's
It does provide some context for things I've learned about your dating life. I'm not enjoying this, but if I mix it with the other thing a little bit, I can tolerate it.
that explains so much. I was like, he's not that bad, but whenever we watch Love Island together, it's so funny. Uh,
Now,
New things for
Tabitha's
therapy.
existential crisis.
Yeah. New things for therapists. For me and my therapist to talk about shit.
So yeah, in the interest of taking our own medicine, we're doing a bit of a format switch up for people, for the like 3 of you that listen to the long form things. And because of exactly that, is everybody's interested in just the short form stuff because we see your views, we're watching you. We're going to try something a little different this time. We're going for 3 topics, 20 minutes each. I have a timer right next to me, and at the end of 20 minutes, we are fucking done. But again, amazingly enough, this is how decisions actually get made. Get some data, make a new decision, try something different, see if it sucks. Good luck. So, ready?
Yes.
What are we doing? Where are we going with this?
I think what we should do is what you do whenever you start seeing a client throwing like red flag parties. Like, what do you do as the provider? What do you do?
So, what steps do I take when I start seeing a client kind of going off the rails? Um, Fucking big ones is what I take. Fucking big steps away as quickly as possible. Um, yeah, so I think there's like a few different versions of this, right? I think you get the folks who just have no idea what they're doing, and they've come to you for some thought around that. You and I both work with a lot of startups, and so that's, I would say, about 80% of the folks that show up, and then nothing goes anywhere. Right? They've just bitten off way more than they can chew, and you kind of have to help them like kill their dream a little bit. Um, I think that's probably exactly right. It's a big part of the job is killing puppies, and you just like, this is somebody's dream, and they've been working on it for so long. All they want to do is make magic something, and you just got to take old Yeller out back in the fucking head.
New merch idea. No.
I think so. That's, when I start to see that particular genre, right? You sort of know how it's going to end, right? My thoughts are always around, okay, how did this person come to me? Is there a relationship I want to maintain? So how gently do we let them down? How long do we drag this out? Have they paid me anything at all? Yeah, I think that, and then you see the other ones that just explode, right? All of a sudden, you've got an infinite scope creep and zero budget, and they just want to hand it off to you. I think this is probably the last one that you worked on in kind of a big way. I have a cool idea, and I want you to make it happen for me, but without providing any sort of support or direction or, yeah, anything that's going to be helpful to you.
It got a little more wild. Like, I saved all of the messages because I was like, one day this is gonna be needed to be reflected upon and used as an example, like in a class of like,
Mm-hmm.
this is exactly all the red flags that appear at one time simultaneously and run very fast.
Yeah. No, when they start using ChatGPT to draft responses to your emails, it's not a great client relationship. Yeah, no. I mean, what do you what do you see more often than than not, right? In terms of these folks that are coming in, maybe you've had like an intake meeting, maybe you've done a little bit of scoping. Like, where do you start? Like, do you see a pattern to it?
I don't want to like bash an industry, like a certain niche of people. Um, but it
I'll say this as you're thinking about it. You and I actually serve a really like similar group, in that I hang out with a lot of tech bros, and the number of people who are pitching an app on a given day, it's kind of the same vibe. Um, of the like, I have a magic thing that's gonna do magic things, and it's gonna be amazing, and I have no idea how to make the thing go.
okay. So I have people that have magic things that want to make things go.
Yeah.
And the problem is whenever I feel like the issue is with being in this specific industry. I'm just going to say it
Sure.
because it's harder to like go around. Being in like a more like very woo woo industry, there is a higher priority for some reason on like spiritual development than
Mm-hmm.
there is on your business. So I am going to invest more in going to Joshua Tree and Coachella than on my business.
Mm-hmm.
And so watching someone literally destroy their own journey
Yeah.
and then sit there and in a very like religious way try to make you feel lesser than so they can rise like
Mm-hmm.
um certain people in churches. So trying to keep it as polite as possible.
Yeah.
But seeing that like take place, it's just how it's hard to be like, hey, you're kind of fucking yourself in a polite way. And so it's just like, where is the line on when do you help people and when do you not?
Yeah.
And what
Well,
I've run into is I am doing like the HR lobotomization of I wish you the absolute best, but you're this scope creep from hell is what I was staring at. And the chat GPT of just mid conversation
mm-hmm.
asking it questions.
Yeah, there's no problem with Google and stuff for clarification, but if it's like writing your responses for you, you got a problem.
Well, like it was
Um,
like, I just don't know what to do first. Hey, chat GPT. And it was like, like literal, just like
yeah.
things that you could internally ask yourself and you would know being super woo woo and intuitive. It is not the oracle from the Matrix.
It's the same thing that the tech bros do, right? And this is me talking smack about my people, but a million percent. It's I think people have turned over some of their critical thinking skills to the robot, um, but it's also this idea that just because I'm smart about one thing or am enlightened about one thing, that I am in fact smart and enlightened about all things, and that by doing the thing that I'm good at as hard as I possibly can, all of the other things will just happen. Um, yeah, the last startup that I got involved in, like in a for real sort of way, and am still involved in, was brought together very like the team was very specifically brought together because people had run big things, people, but also had their own specific skill set. Right, we've got a real CEO. This is somebody who currently runs like an entire division at a Fortune 100 company. Right, everybody else worked there. I'm the weird little consultant they brought in to handle all like the business system things, but that's because they know that they don't want to do it. They could certainly, but they don't want to devote the time to it, and so they built a team, that can, right, and do it in a meaningful way. Um, but I see a lot of specifically solo founders doing that sort of thing, right? Of just like, if I am good enough at this thing, everything else will just fall in line. And this is not true, right? That's how you start getting letters from the state being like, you owe us money because you didn't file your taxes 4 years in a row. And we finally figured it out. So it would not be the first time I've heard about the state of Delaware coming after somebody for being like, you just didn't file your franchise fee, or whatever it is, right? You just didn't do the paperwork because the paperwork isn't an interesting thing. No, but the paperwork is incredibly necessary. That's just, it's non-negotiable. You got to do it. It sucks. Uh,
If you don't know how to do it, I mean, legal Zoom is still a thing. Go legal Zoom
LegalZoom
yourself.
actually has like lawyers working for it.
And
ChatGPT has a lot of lawyers working for it, but they're not
you're
providing
not like,
content into the bot, not intentionally anyway. Yeah,
they're
it's certainly
settling
not your lawyer.
lawsuits.
Yeah, but that's our chunk of this and AI today. We don't get to do it anymore.
And yeah, I was going to talk about The Devil Wears Prada.
Fair, fair. Yeah, I think you know as I've been doing this for longer and longer, my threshold for just cutting them loose has gotten a lot lower. Right. And this is, I think we've talked about this before, the ability to having a client depth, right? Where you have sort of sustaining clients and you feel more secure in being like, I'm not a good fit for this. Right. I always blame myself. Because sure, maintain a relationship, right? You don't want to piss somebody off just because you know how. Uh, you know, I'm not going to be a good fit. I'm not going to be able to help. I don't have enough time, right? But when you figure that out, you should just cut them loose, right? You're not helping them by dragging this along, and you're not helping yourself by dragging it along. Nobody wants to be there, especially if it sucks. Yeah, cut them loose.
I agree with all that, minus the blaming yourself.
I do it only because the sort of people who are taking a big swing like this are cocaine infused horn dogs, and they're just trying to, again, magic something into existence, and they're not introspective enough to get that they are the problem. Right? If you get that you are the problem, we actually have something to talk about.
We can fix you.
Right? And you can, yeah, we can do something with that. But if you're not gonna, and I'm not, I'm too old to teach people how to be adults. Um,
See, I
but
like the sterile approach
mm-hmm.
of just this is not going to work out. I wish you the absolute best.
Yeah.
Like the greeting card of the super short, because like, I feel like no matter what you say, they are going to blame you anyways. So it's you're wasting time writing, they're wasting time reading, and in this case, ChatGPT is reading it. So your 2 sentences is just like the best thing that can ever happen to them. And last week I got to write those sentences twice.
Firing clients, always a good time.
But one, we didn't even get to the client part before is like the escalation was super fast.
Sure.
And just the red flags immediately. And I was like, ooh, she's gonna be super not fun really fast. And then there was also um I feel like this is almost a question for your partner because I'm like, I'm not very medical knowledgey.
Mm-hmm.
I'll admit that. But I do not think, I mean, compliance wise, if I were like, heal yourself from lung cancer with your mind powers, can one heal yourself from lung cancer with your mind powers?
Depends on what kind of mind powers you got, I guess. I feel we've gotten well out of my wheelhouse.
I need that assignment reported back to me because I need to know. Because I was like, that also seems like that could be an ethical problem. I saw apple cider vinegar. I know how things go.
Yeah. I feel like you've done a really good job of identifying that this is a problem. I want to, what the fuck?
Yeah, it was just really, really shocking. And then a lot of the language used, I was just like, shit, that's best of luck in your lawsuit.
Yeah, don't do things you would actually get sued for. I think is a good piece of advice. And if you think you might, maybe run it by a lawyer. They're not super expensive.
If it's been a plot and supernatural and it was the bad guy that they had to, do away with.
Mhm.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Because I remember that episode where they had to get rid of, like, the laying hands healer. Um,
Oh, we're doing that kind of thing. Yeah, no, you don't do that. Oh, yeah.
Now, so we've done the if you're in current contract with them. So
Mhm.
what if it's, current, like, we're just having the conversation and I'm throwing the flags at you? How do you just, like, end the call? How do you professionally end that call? Freaking
And honestly, I tend to just let it ride through the end of the conversation and then ghost them. Uh, like I again, like there's a certain amount of how did they come to me, right? Did they just find me and like was it cold outreach? Is there another relationship I need to maintain? Like it come to me through a friend? In which case, yeah, I'll be a little bit kinder about it. Uh, just because I want to maintain the other relationship. I don't need them going back and being like, this guy was a dick. Uh, I mean, I am, but like also, we no, I don't need to ruin other friendships. Um, but I think honestly, I'm more interested in your answer to this question because I feel like there is a very gendered like response to what is essentially the drunk guy at the bar who just won't leave you alone.
you tell them you ran over your husband. That's how you nip that in the bud. Like, you're like,
Just
"I
got out
ran
of
over
prison.
him 3 times," and just watch his eyes calculate how many backups it was. Um, but I guess for me, I try to match the language that they're using and just try to get off the call because if by now everybody's noticed I talk a lot. So I try not to spend 3 hours of my life on the
Yeah.
call. So I try to wrap it up as quickly as possible, and then break up text like just a little bit later. You know,
Mm.
and since it's more woo woo people, it's the I feel we are not in alignment on the soul path. Your soul led business does not, match my soul led journey, things like that. But matching that, I practice it. I work on match.
I deeply appreciate this about you. Because mine are always just like, I think your idea is fucking stupid. You should die in a fire. Leave me alone. Not quite that
So
bad. But
10 of
it's not
James's
true. There's been a
past
few.
clients have died in a fire. No, just kidding. But yeah, just trying to match that and just the very HR generic, like it's not even it's me, not you, it's me. Like, not even one of those. Like, just because no matter what, they're gonna dislike you.
Yeah.
Nobody likes it's just like a first date where you're like, I would like to never see you again. No matter
Yeah.
what, they're not gonna like that. So that's where
No,
the
I think
ghosting
you.
is preferable. Like, you'd be like, well, maybe they died. Um,
Can you come back? Maybe just a cup of coffee sometime later. Eh, no,
I'm allergic to coffee.
for real.
I can't be, no.
That's what I thought. Yeah. No, I think one of the things, and this is something I wanted to sort of ponder a little bit later, but like it is learning to trust yourself in making that decision. And with I'm very much the less woo part of this partnership, uh, but like understanding that there will be other things that come as well, right? The work will come, and the work that you want will eventually turn up if you keep at it long enough. Um, that interim period, particularly if you're just getting started, really sucks because you are trying to pay your bills. But I think, yeah, you really learning what you want to be doing and making that be the focus of your soul led journey, right? That this is
Yes, yes. Perfect.
this is
Oh.
go to Tabitha. Don't come to me. Go to Tabitha.
I mean, I love woo-woo, it's just I do not like gel. And I say this as I give a presentation once at a gel, not that I was in said gel. Well, I was there, but not inside the cell part. Um,
It's a nice place to be in jail, I guess.
all your bills are paid, free meals, free friends,
Yeah.
all the dating options you could ever want.
And many you don't, which also sounds like just being outside.
Yeah, same, just AC, unless you're in Texas, and then apparently that's a problem. But yeah, I just
So,
having
how long is too long to hang on? So, how do you make that determination around like this is too much?
with my one magic lady, it was, I mean, we talked for like a month about it.
Yeah,
But then whenever is like the week of things happening, it was very quickly how I was like, "Oh, this needs to not happen." Because it just got wilder and crazy and more insulting as it went.
and I think that's a good marker because like
Yeah,
if you don't feel like you're being valued in a particular engagement, fuck off.
yeah.
Um,
Or that they're even reading your messages.
yeah, yeah. If you don't feel respected, you are not being respected.
Yeah,
And that's not a way you can go through the world, particularly as somebody who's just doing this on their own. I mean, people actually have to, like, they're paying for your time. And if they're not
yeah.
paying for your time,
Get your
why
pay.
are you working with them?
Yeah,
Because that's my first marker of things and why I always push for like a very limited engagement right off the bat. Like, we need to come up with a plan for what you actually want to do, and you're going to pay me for that. And it's not, an insignificant amount of money generally, but like you need to put your money where your mouth is because you're going to respect my time more. And thus, we will actually accomplish something. Um, but that's generally the checkpoint that I dip out at of like, yeah, dude, here's our schedule, like our scope to build a scope. Um, when the check clears, we will start scheduling meetings. Until then, I look forward to hearing updates, you know, and kind of giving that hard stop to what can be a process that drags on infinitely.
so next time.
No, it's like, and this is how everybody learns to do this stuff, right? You either learn from somebody else's mistake, in which I get led on for 8 months by a national nonprofit for about a technology project. Just checking back in to see where you guys are at. Oh, we got a new CTO. We don't need any of this. Okay, well, good times.
Things
Thanks for
happen to
that.
people all the time, though.
Mm.
Accidents. No, I don't know. Yeah, I so I'll admit it, I took that one way too long.
Mm.
Was that our timer?
That
Did we
was
get
that was
over
our timer just a
Dang
minute
it.
ago.
Ah.